Greetings to everybody. So, in this session, I'd like to talk about the interviewing process, the personal interview. It is one of the three main tests in the SSB process. The interview might be conducted after the stage uh, one, of course. In the stage two, it might be conducted on second day onward, anytime. Day two, three, four, or five. Even before the conference, I have seen a few people have been interviewed. So just be ready that your interview could be anytime. And the things which I used to do before going to the SSB process while preparing for the interview is basically I wrote an autobiography of myself. So what exactly is an interview? So in the interview, what do they want to know? They want to know a few things about your past, your present, your future ambitions and goals, lots of things about your personal life. uh, Before going forward, also watch the video which I've made on the PIQ form. So the PIQ form basically also goes to the interviewing officer. So before we enter the room, they have our PIQ form in their hands, and they get a basic idea of who this person is, what this person has done. So they basically frame a few questions. Okay, on this basis, they might ask you a few questions. And of course, based on your responses further in the interview, they might ask you more and more and more questions, right? So that is why I have said that PIQ is an extremely important document. So it is the first impression of yours on the interviewing office. Also, in the Air Force selection boards, the files that you have, the documents, all your original certificates, documents, extracurricular activities, games, sports, if any, so this file usually goes to the interviewing officer's office room. So it is very important that we keep this file in the best way possible, arrange the documents accordingly in sequence 10th and onwards, and also arrange our games, sport, extracurricular activities, if any certificates in that file itself. It is always better to prepare the file extremely well, right? Also, other thing for interview would be dress in the most respectable way, the most comfortable way. Do not unnecessarily wear blazer or something like that. If it's making you uncomfortable, you can wear it. As far as you're comfortable, go ahead with it. But do not wear it if it's making you uncomfortable, or wear a tie if it's choking you or something. Just thinking that, oh, it might affect in a good way and cause a good impression on the assessor. Don't do that. Go simply for an interaction. Dress respectfully, no doubt, but do not feel uncomfortable with whatever you're wearing. There's no rule that you have to wear a tie or a blazer, right? If it's winters, it's obvious and it's suggested you also wear a blazer so you feel warm, right? In the chill weather, you feel warm and sit comfortable. But if it is summer and if you're still wearing a big blazer, it's hot already. And then if you're and on top of that, in the interviewing room, you're sweating. It's hot, you're wearing a blazer and you're continuously sweating. So what's the point of the blazer? So keep these simple things in mind. There is no hard and fast rule that blazer wale ka acha impression hota hai, tie walo ka acha impression hota hai. In the screening test itself, where I've seen so many people wearing tie, blazer and all, who've got screened out. So what I'm trying to say is, it does not really affect your selection in stage one or stage two. Dress respectfully. Boys, it's always suggested that y'all shave and go, right? That is always suggested. So how did I prepare for the interview? So when I was at home, like initially I mentioned that I used to write an autobiography. So what are the things I've been doing in my life since my sixth grade and onwards? Academically, in games and sports, in extracurricular activities, if any, adventure activities, or any NGO work, anything. So I used to write all these important things down. When I wrote these things down, I also realized that I was very active in school. So I also took part in the annual day dances and drama performances, in gymnastics, in taekwondo and skate. So lots of things which I've done. So after writing that, I realized, yeah, I was very active in school. So I kept those things in mind. And later also, what games I've played, at what level I have played, what was the result, where have I represented my school or college, all these things. And once in graduation years, about NCC, about all the adventure activities I've done, all the camps which I've done in NCC. So I basically wrote an autobiography till date, till today, all the things that I've done. So this really helps. So interviews basically they're trying to know, acha, what has this person been doing, what is he or she doing now, and what are the future goals and aspirations, right? So while preparing, I also had this thing in mind, ki, okay, I want to join a so and so service. So what future do I see in this service? What do I want to do in this service? For army, infantry, armored, artillery, water, or special forces, air force, adam, logistics, flying, pilot, anything, navy, whatever. So I had a clear picture. Ki, okay, मुझे ये service join करनी है, and this is what I want to do in that. I was very clear with that. And so I had also prepared accordingly. And also, if not for defense, what was my backup plan? Because they usually that is expected that if defense does not work out for anybody, what else would they do in life based on your subject of graduation, your subjects in 11th and 12th, your thought process, whatever you thought of, if not for defense. So I went prepared about my backup plan as well. Importance of a backup plan. I would like to, and I would make a separate video on this. So, and it is extremely important to have a backup plan, right? So that's how I prepared for the interview initially. I basically the key to do good is to be self-aware. Self-aware is the key. If you're aware ki, okay, all the things you've done, all the decisions you've made in life, why have you made all those decisions? What are you doing presently? If things don't work out, what is your plan in the future? If things work out, what is your plan? Where do you see yourself in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years? So if you have a basic idea, self-awareness ki, okay, ye hai mere bare mein ye sab, a clear picture of everything, clarity of thoughts and decisions and everything. So that really helps. So I will cover this thing in little detail, especially for the repeaters and all. So considering these things, that's how I prepared for the interview. And also for the repeaters, okay, there's one more thing. Based on the PIQ form, we can frame a lot of questions based on the on everything which we write on the PIQ form. It is very important that we do that, because that approach really helped me. Whatever I've been writing on my PIQ from my address, so about my place where I stay, about the district, about the state, a basic history of everything. After that is about your parents' information. So in the interview, they discuss all these things. Okay, what is your father, mother doing? What are your siblings doing? If they're doing so and so, why did you not go in that field? Or why are you not interested in that field? About parents, so they ask you a lot of things. Okay, what do your parents think about you and all that stuff. What all questions are asked, you can see some other video. I won't be covering what all questions are asked, but I'm just telling you a basic approach which you all can have. So be aware of your parents, what are they doing, their past, how have they got to this level, your siblings. So basically, you're supposed to be aware of all these things. In the PIQ form, you're supposed to mention their education details, their job, their income. And so basically, a normal person is aware of all these things, and it's always better and good to be aware of all these things. Then come your academics and percentage score and everything. So in that also, questions may arise that, okay, if you scored 90% in 10th and then 80% in 12th, so they may ask you, ki, why have you scored a little less in your 12th grade? What deteriorated your percentage? Same for graduation. So they also ask you things like 12th if you've done science, so why did you take science? In graduation, if you've done BSc in physics, so why did you take BSc? And then why did you take physics? So the interview is all about your past life, your present life, right? All the decisions which you've taken in your past life, right? So they want to know on what basis do you take decisions in life? What is the thought process which goes in your mind while taking decisions? So based on your past decisions and happenings and your present, whatever you're doing, so then they get a basic idea. Okay, so in the future, this person may think in this way, may behave or act in this way. This is how they will take decisions. So based on your recent past and your present, they can judge your future. That is why I'm saying self-aware is extremely important. Your past, present, future. So academics, that is asked why. Usually that is asked, why did your marks get deteriorated? If you mentioned any outstanding achievement, so they might ask you about that as well. Then comes your job, the age, weight, and all that. Before below that is the job, if any. So if you're a student and if you've already graduated, then they might ask you, ki, why are you still not earning? Why are you still dependent on your parents for their income and all that? So whatever reasons you all have, you all can give. If you all want to know what answers I gave, you may watch the interviews which I've posted, which my friends have conducted along with me. In those, I've mentioned all these things. But that is what they might ask you. If you're not working, why are you not working? Why are you being a burden on your parents or something like that? They may frame it just to put you under pressure. If you are working, still they might ask you, "Acha, why are you working? Don't you have some other goals in life?" Or right. So be prepared. Whatever your answer is, give it very comfortably and give an honest answer. After that is NCC. So I might ask you about NCC. What camps have you done? What all is there in those camps? What role did you play in NCC? What are the roles and responsibilities you had as a senior in NCC, as a junior in NCC? All these things. After that comes games and sports. In the PIQ form video which I've made, I have clearly mentioned that whatever you write in your PIQ form, you are supposed to be aware of it. Else, do not write it, right? So in the games and sports, if you mention say basketball, so they may ask you lots of things. Okay, what are all the technical faults which may happen? How many technical faults are there? What is the 3 second rule? What so all these things they might ask you just to see if this person has mentioned so and so sport. Is he or she really aware of it, or have they just written it? They may ask you on that. Then come your hobbies and interests. So that is very interesting. So that they always ask you about your hobbies and interests. So what do you do in your spare time, in your free time? How do you like to spend your time along with your friends and family and others? How do you spend time with your neighbors? What all extracurricular things you've been doing? And what is your daily schedule? How does your daily schedule make you happy? So basically hobby and interests, these things are basically covered in the daily schedule. So they just cross check these things. Ki so and so has mentioned these hobbies and interests, so they ask you a daily schedule कि अगर hobby ये है तो are they really executing their hobby in their daily routine or something like that. So then comes extracurricular games and activities, extracurricular if any. So उसमें they might ask you कि अच्छा क्या था, कैसे था, outstanding achievement अगर gold medal है, ये contribution है, ऐसा है, so how did you do it? So they just ask you in detail about all these things. Then comes the roles and responsibilities you've held so far. उसमें जो भी monitor, head boy, head girl, games captain, house captain, NCC senior, senior under officer, whatever it is, scouts, or even if any adventure race is cycling, if you've taken a part, so leader of that cycling race, anywhere where you've held some role uh, of importance, right? That, and then comes SSB attempts. So now here basically repeaters are asked these questions. What happened in your previous attempts? Why were you not able to make it? How have you prepared this time? How have you prepared different this time? What do you think about this attempt? Do you think you'll make it this time? And what are the scope of improvements in you? So repeaters are basically asked these questions. So if you still don't make it, then what is your plan? And why are you still coming to give the SSBs if you've already realized you're not making it? So all these things repeaters might be asked, right? If repeaters might also give SSBs for Army, Navy, Air Force through different entries. So they may ask you, why are you giving so many entries of different services? Aren't you clear with what you really want in life? Vagara, vagara. So all these are very personal things, and these answers differ from person to person, right? So that is what the interview is about. Before going for the interview, when you're already there at the SSB, there are a few things which I did which might help you. So after every test, I used to analyze my performance after screening, after say the initial psychology tests, then the GTO tests. Then if I have my interview later after the GTO tests, so I used to analyze my performance, think about it कि okay psychology में ये हुआ, ये छूट गया, थोड़ा थोड़ा बहुत छूट गया, थोड़ा express नहीं कर पाया, whatever it is. I used to keep that in mind. GTO में similarly, okay यार ज़्यादा ideas नहीं दे पाया, या ऐसे नहीं कर पाया, वो नहीं कर पाया. So I used to keep these things in mind. And in interview, when they ask me, interviewing officer, they may ask you कि so how has your performance been so far? So I used to just say, sir, it has been good, but there are a few things which I could have done different, and I could have done better. But so they पूछते, "अच्छा, what things?" Then I used to mention all these things. So it's fine. You keep assessing and analyzing your performance if your interview is later, and if they ask you, you give these answers. It's always better to analyze your performance. That shows that okay, this person is really willing to improve, is identifying his or her mistakes, and is willing to improve. So they may ask you, Acha, you identified all these things. So how would you improve on these things? So what steps would you be taking? What have you done about it? So these things really matter. And the best approach to give the interview is to be extremely relaxed, cool, and calm. Right? It is just an interaction with some officer. Many a times candidates face some officer for the first time. They might be in uniform, so they get scared and everything like that. So there's no need. Their job is to conduct your interview and check your suitability to join the forces. That is their job. Your job is to give your best, be present mentally and physically both, be cool, calm, and relaxed. That is the best approach. You need not always sit like this in front of the interviewing officers, or right, and do not even do things like this or sit very comfortably. So it is an informal thing. It's not an extremely formal thing or a very friendly thing. It's a little informal thing. So you can say semi-formal. So sit comfortably like this, and then give your interview. Right? Sit comfortably. How does it matter? If you're just very conscious and do all that, it's just gonna hamper all your answers. Other best way to do is, like I said, be self-aware, aware of everything, all the life decisions which you've taken, all the consequences of that, all the present, whatever you're doing, future plans, ambitions, goals, 3 or 4 year, 5 year plan, right? Be aware of everything in your life. Your life, you are the one who's supposed to be aware of these things. And be chill, yaar. So initially, I'd like to give you all examples about my initial interviews and these interviews. So initially, I used to be very scared कि यार सामने officer बैठे हैं तो थोड़ा ये है, वो है. And I used to overhype the interview process. And if I was unable to answer any question, so I used to get very conscious and I used to get thoda scared. यार I'm not able to answer this question in my previous attempts. Then be it any question, general knowledge or current affairs, if I was not able to answer anything, I used to just get stuck. I used to not know what to say now. When they used to ask me about my previous few decisions which I've taken in life or whatever I'm doing or BSc, why am I pursuing that? So I had never given it a thought कि मैं जो भी कर रहा हूँ क्यों कर रहा हूँ, जो चल रहा है वो बस चलते ही जा रहा था. All the decisions I was taking just ऐसी flow में हो जा रहा था. Then I gave it a nice thought कि यार whatever I've been doing, this is the reason I've been doing. So I was very clear of whatever things I've been doing, because of which I was very chill and cool and calm. And I was not desperate. Initially, I was desperate, so it hampered my performance. I got scared. So, like I mentioned, I was not able to answer a few current affairs, general studies questions. So I used to panic and I used to just go blank. Yes, I didn't know what to say. Later in the further attempts where I was selected, I was very cool. So I said, whenever they asked me such questions, in one of the interviews, I was asked 16 general knowledge questions, out of which I was able to answer zero. I was not able to answer these questions. So I respectfully just said, sir, I'm not aware. I don't know these answers. I'm not aware. Simple thing. Why be scared? They were trying to put so much pressure on me by asking me so many general knowledge questions. They knew probably that I won't be able to answer. So, but I didn't come under pressure. I was very cool and calm. I just kept listening to their questions. Whatever I knew, I answered. Whatever I did not know, I said, sir, I'm not aware. That's it. Chill approach. Earlier, like I said, I used to get scared. Oh no, scared of them. So interviewing officer is not God that your entire life depends on them. So you get desperate. Or neither is he or her the devil कि यार तुम्हारा लाइफ ही बर्बाद कर देंगे इसके सामने, मतलब इसके सामने कुछ अच्छा ही करना पड़ेगा इनके सामने. It's not nothing like that. It's just a semi-formal interaction, a discussion, just to know about yourself. Be extremely honest, right? Be extremely honest while you fill your PIQ form, while you write your self description in your psychology test, while you give answers in the interview. Think for 3 to 5 seconds before you answer. It is okay to think before answering, right? Do not say things just for the sake, or say things in a hurry or in haste, because later when you go back to your room, you'll regret these things. So be relaxed, cool and calm. You might take 3-4 seconds before. Give it a thought. Not number of seconds, but I'm just saying give it a thought. What has been asked and what would your answer be? Be honest, extremely honest. But also at the same time, know what to reveal in front of them, know what to tell them, and know what not to tell them. They do not want to know how notorious you were in school, all the pranks you've played on your friends and all. Don't get into all these things. So what I'm trying to say is focus on whatever is asked and answer whatever is asked. Do not say things unnecessarily. You will fall in a trap. You'll get trapped if you speak things unnecessarily. So know what to keep from them, know what not to tell them, right? But be honest. Whatever they ask, answer it honestly. If you lie, you're gone. You won't make it. You're not supposed to lie. At times with me, it has happened that initially I was not aware of all the decisions I've been taking and why I've been taking. So in the pressure कि यार मेरे को कुछ तो आंसर करना पड़ेगा, for the sake I've said a few things. My motive was not to lie. I didn't want to lie and get selected. But उस pressure के under, when I was being asked these questions, in haste of saying something for the sake of saying, I said something which obviously they understood that he is just bluffing or lying or whatever it is. इसको निकालो यहाँ. Of course, I was direct no. I didn't want to lie. But in haste, all this under pressure, I said a few things which did not match with my PIQ or my personality or all the decisions I've been taking. That's why I'm saying be self-aware. If you're not self-aware, if you answer in a confused state, they might think यार he or she is bluffing, lying, यार निकालो इसको, झूठ बोल रहे हैं. So झूठ बोलना is a direct red flag. It's a no-no. I think that's it about the interview. Before when you're sitting in the waiting room before the interview, be relaxed, be cool and calm. Like I said, analyze your entire performance. Think of your parents, your friends and family who are waiting at home for the good news or whatever news it is, right? Think of all the previous attempts which you've been through, all the challenges which you faced, all the preparations and hard work and efforts you've took to sit there again, despite so many rejections. If you're still sitting there, Think of the entire journey of yours. Let it flash in front of your eyes. Think of it. It makes you happy, right? Makes you happy that you've come so far. It should not be a pressure for you कि यार इतने attempts हो गए अभी और देने हैं और relax, be happy that you're here again, right? And hydrate yourself, keep yourself hydrated before you go into the interviewing room, and yeah, use the washroom and all before, because once you go inside they won't really leave you for say 30 minutes, 45 minutes, or even 1.5 hours. So be ready, be prepared, hydrate yourself. There's also water in the interviewing officer's room which they offer you, which is kept at the side table. But go to the washroom and also do all these little things. Be ready for all the questions. That is how we can prepare. Like I said, take your PIQ form, figure out all kinds of questions they might ask you about football, basketball, NCC, parents, education, everything, college, your place where you live in. So write all these questions down, frame answers of those, go prepared. The best thing you can do is go prepared. It's always better to be prepared. Also, they may ask you a few of the most important questions are: why do you want to join the defense forces? Why so and so service? What do you want to do once in the service? Actually, army में जाके करना क्या है? Which arms of service do you want? Air Force में जाके क्या करना है? Which fighter plane do you want to fly? Or Navy में respectfully, respectfully, whatever it is. So be ready with all these questions. Other things they ask, important things is, if not for defense, what are you gonna do? You say no, I'll try again and again. If you're declared medically unfit permanently, then what are you gonna do? So be ready with these answers. They may also ask you a few personal questions like, do you have a girlfriend, boyfriend? Why do you not have? How are they? Whatever. So also about your family and friends, your strengths and weaknesses. Basically, you are supposed to be aware of all these things. What am I good at? What am I not so good at? Right. So being self-aware, you're aware of these things. While you prepare for the self-description, you also take opinions from your parents, friends, teachers, and everything, right? So the interviewing officer might also ask you, okay, what do your parents think about you? Two positives, two negatives, friends, one positive, one negative. What would your boyfriend like to improve in you, or girlfriend would want you to change in yourself? All these questions. It is all about self-awareness. It's all about self-awareness. And they may also ask you current affairs and general awareness questions just to check here, is he or she aware of what things are happening in their country, the world around. So as a good citizen, as a good person, you're supposed to be aware of all the happenings around, be updated with whatever is happening. So that shows a sincerity, that shows you, okay, takes interest in whatever is happening around him or her in the country, right? And if you're not able to answer, you say not aware, it's fine. It's always better to go prepared. Self-awareness is the key, right? If anybody asks what is the key to success of clearing the SSB, it is you. You are the key, and self-awareness, that is the code to crack the SSB, the key to crack the SSB. It is basically what decisions have you been taking in life and why. It is all about why. They want to check your reasoning ability. They want to see how he or she thinks while taking decisions, before taking decisions, after so and so consequences of these decisions. How does one think and go about it, or solve problems, or whatever it is, thought process, right? That is very important. Why I used to play football? Why not get into some other profession? Why are you still not working? Why science? Why BSc? So it's all about why. They want to see how you think, right? That's something they want to analyze. Or something which really helped me is meditation. So in the interview, in the previous attempts, I used to get, I say, over enthused and over excited and all at times. But then I used to meditate also. That really helped me be cool and calm. Sit in one place for a long time and not get fidgety and move around and all. That's something which helped me. So yeah, and then in the end, they ask you if you have any questions. It's okay, you can ask them something sensible, something logical which you want. So basically, it is not suggested that you ask them their personal details. Of course, they're not allowed to reveal it. You can ask whatever doubt if you have faced while interacting with them, or any doubt which you have in general, be it logical. Do not ask about the SSB process or something. It's up to you, actually. It's a personal thing, personal opinion. So I think that's it. Be confident, have the self belief, even if not for defense, I'll do something big in life. I know I'll excel and everything. Go to the SSB to get selected for yourself. Do not get under the pressure ki mere parents, mentors, friends, juniors, everybody is waiting for my selection. Do not go under that pressure. It will hamper your performance. So go very chill, cool, calm, be confident, have utmost self-belief. Ki liya, theek hai. Nahi liya, theek hai. The interviewing officer should feel, yaar, this person, we do not want to lose this person, right? Because this person, wherever he or she goes, he or she is gold. Jahan jayenge, chamkenge. So that's how they should feel. Ki we do not want to lose this person to their backup plan. We want such person in our armed forces, in our service, right? So more than what you deserve, they should feel that the forces deserve some candidate like yourself, right? That is how your approach, your confidence, your self-belief, and all these things should be. That is how your performance should be. Do not get scared of the interviewing officer. Like I said, they're not God, neither are they devils. So do not get scared of them. And do not also get overconfident, saying कि ये क्या ही कर लेंगे मेरा. Do not do that. It's go with a respectful approach. Go, right. Um, there's a very thin line between being confident and being overconfident. So identify all those differences. And yeah, I think that's it about the interview. If you have any specific doubt about the interview, uh, just drop in comments and I'll get back as soon as possible. Thank you. Jai Hind.